Hey, good morning, Wheatley Baptist Church. It's Pastor Dave here with our weekly update. I really look forward to doing these. We started these kind of out of necessity, but I get so much feedback from you. Thank you for that, about how you look forward to these updates. And I have to be honest with you, I look forward to doing them too. It's kind of this little intimate conversation we get to have sometime through the week, and then obviously it keeps us updated on what's going on too. So until you tell me to stop, I'm just gonna keep on doing them. This past weekend, and as we've got into this week, we're starting to hear a great deal more about a reopening and what that might look like for our society, for our businesses, our workplaces, our institutions, our churches. Even I said to you once before, our council is talking very specifically about what's that going to look like, and we sure like some feedback from you on that if you want to give it to us. But I wanted to give you this specific thought this morning, because I hear, as we start to contemplate a return, I hear some uncertainty and some anxiety welling up a little bit. What's that going to be like? Are people going to be safe? Am I going to be safe? During my readings this weekend, I found myself in the book of Hebrews. And if you haven't been in God's Word this week, just let me commend this to you. Hebrews chapter 10, verses 19 to 25. And it's specifically verse 23 that I want to give you this morning. In the translation that I was reading from, Hebrews 10:23 says, "Let us hold unswervingly." My translation uses that word, unswervingly. "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful." He who promised is faithful. We don't actually know who wrote the book of Hebrews. Some think it could have been Barnabas. Some think it could have been Paul. The truth is we just don't know. But what we do know is the theme that runs through that book is really about how Jesus Christ makes possible this loving relationship between a holy God and at times a pretty unholy people. And it's this unholy people bit that I think people are becoming a bit concerned about. When I have to go back into line at the grocery store, when I have to start going back to my workplace, what's it going to be like? What are people going to be like? And so this morning, I just wanted to give you an encouragement through one word, and that's hope. Right there in verse 23. Jesus, the writer says that because of our relationship with Jesus, one of the ways that we can live is as a model and an expression of how this gracious love that we get from God through Jesus causes us to live. Because if God has done all of this for us, then we should be living in a specific way, and one of those ways is to model hope. Unswerving hope, unshakable hope, right? Because it should be really clear to us. And this is why I'm saying this, because I don't want things to cloud your thoughts here. It's this unswerving hope is only possible because of not our faithfulness, but because of the faithfulness of God. It's possible for us to hope in all of these promises that we see throughout His Word, not because of our strong faith. It's because of His faithfulness to us, His people. For He who promised is faithful, right? It's possible for us as Christ followers then to hold unswervingly to the hope that we profess in Jesus Christ because of God's faithfulness to us, His people. And so as you're thinking about how to re-engage in the world over these coming days, and that's probably going to be something we all have to do, can I just encourage you, hold on unswervingly to the hope that we profess, and let that be visible to people around you too. Friends, I do have a few specific announcements. Some of them are regular, but I want to keep them in front of you. Just a reminder, this week on Wednesday night, we have our Bible study at 6:30 p.m. On Zoom. So we keep getting a few new people every week, which is fantastic. Thank you for that. You really add to our discussions there. And again, if you haven't been able to join us and you want to do that, just give us a shout. And we'll do our best to get you hooked up. It's not that difficult, I promise you. So a Bible study, Thursday night on Facebook. We continue with our community prayer night. We had a big response from that last week, and so we're just going to continue with that virtually for the time being, and then we'll kind of see where that goes from there. Sunday, we're going to start a new series, and it really kind of goes along with what I said in my opening remarks. It's called All Day, Every Day. And as we go back into the world, as we've already said, the new normal is something yet to be discovered, but we know the old normal is gone. We're not going back to the way it was. And so how should we live? And so we're going to do a long study, so many weeks in through the summer, actually, the tail end of the spring and into the part of the summer, through the book of James. I think James is very important for us during this time. It's the only wisdom literature in all of the New Testament, and it's a really, really practical guide for us to pull out some pearls to think about as we're re-engaging with the world. And so we're gonna do that specifically. Also, you've heard us talking about, and by now I'm sure you've seen the signs and the social media adverts. So May 16th, the May 16th Miracle, which is really a food bank drive across all of Chatham-Kent to stock up our food banks. The Wheatley Area Church's food bank is a major depot for that, and also going to be a major recipient from what's gathered. So May16miracle.com, you can go on there and check out everything that's going on. A number of you have signed up to be volunteers in some capacity, so thank you for that. But again, if you haven't done that and it just didn't work for you, that's okay. Leave a canned good out for us to pick up, and certainly keep that day, and specifically the people that day is intended to serve. Please keep them in your prayers this week. I do have a few specific prayer requests. A number of you are asking me about prayer requests, and so I just want to throw a few. We need to continue to pray for those people that are shut in, and specifically in our nursing homes. We're doing what we can to reach out to them by phone and email and those types of things, but we need to continuously lift them up in prayer. I know a lot of you are doing that, so I just encourage that to continue. And for sure, our frontline workers. I have some very close friends, obviously in the emergency services world, but in the nursing world too. And can I just tell you, they're tired. They're so tired. And so we need to pray for them. We need to lift them up. And if you know them by name, use their name when you pray to them. And finally, we're going to talk more in the coming weeks about the missionaries that we support. They're still figuring out how do they do what God is calling them to do in this time of lockdown and isolation and virtual and all that kind of stuff. And so you should be seeing right now on your screen a list of the missionaries that we work with, and would you just add them to your prayer time this week as well? That's really important. And friends, just one last update for you. During this time of kind of shutdown, if you will, we've been doing some work on some of our organizational structure and processes within the church, and one of those is to change a bunch of our email systems, and so that's caused a change in some of our email addresses as well. And so we're going to put you'll see that's out in the email that you got around this video update with a link on it. But we're using 3 specific email addresses. So if you need to email the church, then you should email office@wheatleybaptist.church. office@wheatleybaptist.church. If you want to specifically email around a financial issue or a finance matter, currently Brian Walker is our chair there, and so he would receive that. Then you would email finance@wheatleybaptist.church. So finance@wheatleybaptist.church. And then lastly, if you want to email me directly and privately, that's pastor@wheatleybaptist.church. So all of those, you can see those on our website. I've put them in the email that made its way to you to notify you of our weekly update too. Friends, that's all the update I have for you this week. As always, please feel free to reach out to us. You can do that by phone. You can do that by email. We want to continue to engage and respond to you as we have been doing these past few weeks. Blessings to you and your family in this coming week, and I can't wait to see you on Sunday.